I wanted to make this blog because uh, it it reinforced something that I knew about the principles, but I keep forgetting it. So this experience that I had really reinforced something that I'd forgotten many times, and that is that it's a moving target. Understanding the principles is a moving target. It's not a destination. It's a direction, and um, and it's as soon as you think you understand, it's not long before you realize you don't, and then you think you really understand it. And that's what happened to me recently. Uh, I've grown up with the principles. I mean, that's been such a big part of my life, and I about thought and how thought comes to life and how reality looks like thought and what you're feeling is just thought in that moment. I mean, I would have said I'd known all that, and to a certain degree I did. Like the difference between my life, you know, in the last couple of years and before I met Sydney Banks. I mean, it's unbelievable how much nicer things were for me. Much better I felt. But a few days ago, I was uh, minding my own business, you know, not particularly looking for any answers, and I got this glimpse out of the blue that I was feeling that something bad was going to happen to me. That uh, all hell was going to break loose, or in a tamer sense, that uh, something was going to go wrong. Okay, and when I got a glimpse of that, I began to see that that was very, very, common to my life. It was like an underpinning in my life. It was like a context. I felt that a lot and didn't realize it. And one of the reasons I didn't realize it is because I would look for the reason for that. I would think about what I hadn't done that I should have done, and who I didn't call that I should have called, and what mistakes I'd made that put me at risk for certain things. So I'd always felt like that feeling was life. I didn't feel like it was just me thinking. It seemed to me like life. It seemed like it was appropriate that I had that feeling. I assumed that everybody had that feeling to one extent or another. And it was me just living life and feeling life. Well, in this particular moment that I had recently, it looked like thought. Didn't look like life. It looked like thought, and I realized, my word, I've been thinking something's going to go wrong, uh, the other shoe's going to drop, all hell's going to break loose, whatever those anxious thoughts were. I was thinking those thoughts, and I was feeling those thoughts, and that's all that was happening. It wasn't based on anything. It wasn't in anything. It was freestanding, and it wasn't life. It was thought, and it suddenly occurred to me, that's what Sid Banks was talking about. That's what the principles are about. That's what he's talking about. Now, since that time, okay, uh, that feeling doesn't look real to me. It doesn't look valid. I don't feel like I have to be afraid of it. it's just what I'm thinking right now. So like today when I was driving over in my car, I had this gut feeling, oh, there's too much to do and not enough time, and you're gonna neglect things that are important, and I had that feeling, this is not good feeling, I'm in trouble feeling. And then it occurred to me, that's not true. Not that things won't go wrong, that won't forget things, but that feeling is not true. That's not right, that I'm at this enormous risk here, that I have to be shaking in my boots. And then I had the thought, well, yeah, things do fall through the cracks, and that's not the end of the world. And then I began to see the logic of why it wasn't true. And then I couldn't imagine why I thought it was true. You see? So that's George Pransky, one person, realizing the principles in a way that I hadn't realized the principles before. Now, it doesn't take a mental giant to speculate that there's other feelings that I'm having that feel like life that will someday be seen as thought, and that it will free me from those feelings, from that illusion. And that's what, to me that's what the principles have done for me, is they've freed me from an illusion. Look, I thought I was in a cage, and it didn't exist. There's a metaphor, that if you put tie a rope around an elephant's foot, a leg, and you tie it to a pole, the elephant will struggle and not be able to get away. And if you untie the rope, the elephant will stick close to the pole, because it lives in the illusion that he's restricted. And that's the illusion I was living in. I was living in the illusion that I was always one step from getting into trouble and having my life turn into some kind of a disaster. And it was all an illusion created by my thinking, and I had no idea. So once you discover the role of thought in any way, there's a freedom to it. Something that looked confining looks like it never existed in the first place. So that's what I like about the principles, is there's no end to it. No matter how good it is for you, how much you understand, and how easy it is, there's still more to be discovered than has been discovered so far. So it's kind of like an iceberg in the ocean. For what you see, there's way more under the water. And that's the way the principles are. Well, in my understanding of it from this experiences, you think you see it all, and then you realize you only see a little bit of it. But a little bit of it goes a long way, so that's good. So you're kind of signing up for the role of a student when you get involved in the principles. Perpetual student, really. It's not a seeker, though. It's a student. It's someone who's learning deeper about the same old thing that they've been learning about earlier. They know which direction to look for the answers, and they just keep looking in that direction, and they keep discovering new things. And that's what that meant to me, this experience.